Okay guys, I'm sorry about the lighting, but this was a little too big to unbox in my house. So I'm out in my garage, which is kind of dark. It's currently 8 o'clock at night. But this is going to be an unboxing on the Powermate PM0143250. It's rated for 3,250 running watts and 4,050 watt surge. Has a 208cc 4-cycle engine and has a 4.5 gallon tank. Now I'll be reviewing this guy over the next 2 or 3 weeks on my main channel. I'll have all types of demo videos, of course, posted with this running different loads, and just give you my overall opinion after the testing session is over. So I just got this off the truck probably about 20 or 30 minutes ago. Already started unboxing it. Just taking the saran wrap off of it, cut a few of the straps. There's a few straps still on here, and we're just going to cut those and try to lift the generator out. It's quite heavy. It's over 100 pounds, somewhere around 107. So we'll go ahead and check this out. So I'll get the tape. I don't know why I chose a dull knife to do this, but I did. Okay, so you have a thick piece of cardboard for protection. Looks like it served its purpose. You have the operation manual for it. A little nice envelope there. I'm going to throw the knife with that. And we have the generator itself, which I'm going to try to lift out here. Oh boy, yep, it is heavy. So let's set it down and see what else we have in the box. We did see something fall. Okay, so in the box we have one of the wheels. Looks like we have another box here that contain the other wheel. Of course, the additional accessories. Looks like you have the things for the wheel kit. Looks like a spark plug, wrench, and you also have a 30 amp RV adapter in there. It's one of the parts there that fell off. We'll go ahead, put that back in that box and set that down. Here is one of the wheels, nice rubber wheel, won't run flat on you. It does come with Powermate oil and a funnel. And then the generator itself. Okay guys, so we'll give you a close-up. Got the large muffler here with a spark arrestor on it. Alternator head. It's like it's grounded to the frame. Front here, your control panel, you have rubberized outlet covers. So you have 4 120 volt outlets. You have that single 120 volt RV style connector. Up front here you also have the control monitor, or the multimeter with a little button to cycle through modes. On off switch, circuit breakers for everything, grounding screw. Up top here you have it's like you have your gas tank, little retainer string. Got a strainer down in there. Keep your fuel nice and clean. Metal gas tank, by the way. Fuel gauge. Looks like some sort of venting. Possibly, I'm not sure. This side you have a view of the muffler, which is again huge. Overhead valve, spark plug. In the front you have your fuel peacock, the starter recoil, as well as the carburetor open and close which is going to be your choke and run and the air cleaner. Now besides that, not much else. Through the magic of video editing, I'll have this put together for you, and we'll go ahead and take a closer look at it. So stand by. Alright, so now we've gotten everything unpacked. All of the accessories are laid out. I did lay everything on top of this piece of green AstroTurf because this is a concrete floor. You don't want to damage any of the parts or anything on the generator by rubbing it up against hard concrete. So this is just a little barrier in between that. You might want to do the same. You can probably use a beach towel, like a treadmill mat, piece of carpet, a rug, or if you don't have anything, you can slice up the box and use that as a barrier. But what you have in front of you is the accessories, the tools, and also the oil it comes with. It comes with a 20.3 ounce or 0.6 liters of SAE 10W30 oil. Comes with the oil funnel, which is specifically bent to easily add oil to the generator. Like I mentioned before, you have your L5-30P to TT-30R RV style adapter plug, which is rated for 27 maximum amps. I said 30 before. You also have your two 10-inch flat free wheels, your two handles. You have in the accessory bag, you have two rubber feet, two axle pins, two foot spacers. You also have two M12 by 4mm flat washers, two M12 by 1.5mm flat washers, two M8 flat washers, two M8 by 40 bolts, two M8 by 65 bolts, four M8 nylock nuts, and two lock pins. Now as far as the tools you get, because it also comes with tools, you're going to get a 5mm hex key. You're going to get a double open wrench, which has a 10mm and 13mm side, and you're also going to get a spark plug wrench with the rod. So just about everything you need to get the generator up and running, including the tools, is provided for you. Alright guys, so now we're going to install the Portability Kit, which includes the wheels and handle, and also the rubber mounts for the base of the unit. I've got the generator set up on two milk crates just for the purpose of better video angles, but they suggest that you prop it up with two pieces of wood, at least 6 inches high. Prop up the alternator side first. So I kind of have it reversed. I have the engine side up in the air, and I kind of have the alternator hanging down, but they want you to hang the alternator up first. So let's go ahead and zoom in and do that. Alright, so the first part of the Portability Kit is installing the wheels. You're going to need a couple of parts. You're going to need the M12 by 4mm flat washer. You're also going to need the M12 by 1.5mm flat washer. You're going to need the lock pin as well as the 10-inch wheel. You're going to need two of each because you have two wheels, one on each side. For this demonstration, just to keep the video a little bit shorter, we're just going to do this one side and then move on because obviously off camera I'm going to do the other side. But we'll start here at the generator end. This is going to be the end closest to the E in Powermate. It's also going to be the end that has the hole right there in the middle. So what we're first going to do is we're going to take part number, and I'm going to read the manual for this. This is going to be the axle, which is going to be item number 7. And the axle is this little pin that has no threads and it has a little hole in the end of it. We have the wheel, which is item number 10. And we're also going to use the spacer number 10, which is this guy here. And the little washer, which is item number 9. So all we're going to do is thread the pin through the wheel, the Powermate logo facing out. This side is the side you want facing the generator. We're going to put the big spacer on here. Then we're going to insert that into the axle hole. So So just inserting that there. Takes a little bit of force. We're going to take our number 9 washer, put that on the back end over the hole. Then we're going to take our little pin and stick that right through. Get it all the way through. So it locks in place. And now our wheel is in place and free spinning. So we're just going to repeat that on the other side and then move on to the next step. Alright, so the next step is the foot installation. This time we're going to prop up the engine side of the generator closest to the P and the Powermate logo on the gas tank. And this side is going to be the one that has the hole drilled vertically through the steel tubing. So what you're going to need for this step is you're going to need the foot spacer, which is going to be item number 12. This little plastic doodad here. You're also going to need the foot itself, which is item number 13. It's going to be this rubber piece here. You're also going to need the number 14, which is going to be the M8 washer. So this little guy here. You're also going to need the item number 6, which is the M8 by 65 bolt. And that's going to be the longer of the two bolts that you have. So the longest one here is what we need. And you're also going to need the M8 nylock nut, which is item number 51. And in order to tighten this nut down at the final process, you're going to need the 13mm side of the included wrench. So let's get started here. First thing we're going to do is take our long bolt and we're going to stick the number 14 washer on it. So just sticking the washer straight down on it. And what we're going to do is go ahead and put the rubber foot, which is going to be put on the flat side. It's going to go towards the base of the generator. The open side is where you're going to route the bolt and washer into, just like that, if you can see that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the foot, and the foot fits up against the frame with the little open curved end. And what you want to do is this little small end is going to go inward, and this broader end is going to go outward. So what we're going to do is just put everything, stack it on top of each other, and root that up. Then we're going to take our nut, and the nut has two ends. You have a smaller end. That's what you want to have on top, the more open end. That's what you're going to have on the bottom. And you just basically want to start it by hand. And what you're going to do, I forgot one additional tool, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your hex tool. You're going to fit that in the bottom of the bolt, and you're going to hold with the 13mm side the nut and just lock everything down in place. Alright, so we're done. You just need to get it tight enough that you don't have any movement. You'll notice I have about 1/4 inch of thread coming out the top, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Just repeat on the other side. Okay, so once you're done with your wheel and foot installation, you can go ahead and take your generator off the wood blocks, or in my case the milk crates. What you want to do is you want to make sure the generator is level and not moving. If it is, go back and readjust your feet. So the final step in the Portability Kit installation is going to be the handle installation. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need the M8 by 40 bolt, which is going to be item number 50. You're also going to need the M8 nut, which is going to be item number 51. You're going to need the handle, and you need to identify your left and right handle. What you want to do is have the little spring-loaded nub here. That needs to go on the outside. So in this case, since this one is facing to the right, we're going to make this our right arm, because once it's installed, let me go ahead and set the manual down here. You'll be able to push that little nub in order to lock and unlock the handle. If you had it on the inside, it would be more difficult. So in addition to those parts, you're going to need the two tools provided in the previous step, which is going to be the wrench with the 13mm side, as well as the Allen key. So the first step I've already done. I just got the handle inserted in, and all I'm going to do next is take the M8 by 40 bolt and the M8 nut, and take the bolt, insert it in the hole. Once it is correctly lined up, so line up the hole. Want to get your bolt through there. Kind of have to wiggle it around for a second, and it's in. And then take the M8 nut. Again, that smallest end is your top. The widest open end is the one you want to thread on. Hand tighten it, and go ahead and tighten everything down. Alright, so you want to get it tight, but not super tight, so that it's not going to move easily. And what we're going to do is we're going to test it out now, just to make sure it clicks into the upper position and into the lower position. Then we're simply going to repeat the step on the other side. Alright, so our portability kit is fully installed and tested, making sure everything's nice and tight and even. Just going to put the handles down here. And our final step in the process is to take the tools that you used, the Allen key and the multi-end wrench. Simply go ahead, put those tools back in the blue pouch containing the spark plug tool. Now we move on to adding oil to the generator, adding gas, and getting it started. Alright, so we're in the final two steps before we get it started, adding oil and gas to the generator. And what we're first going to have to do is add oil. Powermate was nice enough to include the oil. This is 20.3 ounces or 0.6 liters. They have also included the funnel. So basically, the oil that they provide is going to be the exact amount that the generator needs. So we're going to pour this entire container into it. And all we're going to do that is unscrew this little yellow dipstick. And you can see the dipstick is kind of dry from the factory. There's a little bit of residue because they do test run it at the factory, but they make sure to drain it out before shipping. Same thing with the gas. But what we're going to do is go ahead, stick the funnel in the oil fill hole. Go ahead, take the cap off our oil. It has a little foil film on the top of it. I'm just going to puncture. Okay, and then try not to get any foil film anywhere on here. So we're just going to fill it up. Go ahead, pour it in slowly. Let it go ahead and fill as to not run out of the funnel. Alright, so before we pull out that funnel, go ahead and take some paper towel, put it at the base of the funnel, just so that you can catch any oil that may leak out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our dipstick, we're going to put it back in the hole and make sure our oil level is at the appropriate level. Okay, it's at the appropriate level. So what we're going to do next is add the gas to it and give it a start. Alright guys, so we're at the final step. I went ahead and took it outside. Just for safety reasons, you never want to start a generator indoors or add fuel. So we're doing it outside. Have my gas container here, just under 2 gallons. And we're just going to add that right in. That should be enough to get us started. Fuel gauge is showing us it's got some gas in it, although pretty low. We're going to turn our fuel peacock on. It's in position. And we're going to take the little notice tag off, since we already added oil. And we'll go ahead. Let's see how many pulls it takes to actually start it up. First thing we're going to do is get the choke on, just moving it all the way to the left, turning the switch on, and giving it a couple of pulls after we get the handles down. So give it a few slow pulls just to lubricate the engine. And then we'll go ahead and try to start it. Start it up in 1, 2. Alright guys, so that hiccup was my fault. Instead of turning the fuel peacock on, the reason it was sort of missing is because I turned the fuel peacock off. I turned it on, let a little gas get in the carburetor, and then inadvertently turned it off a few seconds after I stopped the camera. Started up and ran fine, but it's impressive. It started up with 1 pull immediately after just putting oil in and never starting it, not even having the tank full. And I think that has something to do with the design of this gas tank. It has this extra, what I believe is a vent coming off the top of the gas tank, and that runs into the carburetor. So with my personal 3,000 watt generator I got 4 years ago, it took probably more than around 35 pulls to get it started. It didn't have that type of vent to it. So I believe it just had the standard, cap vent, which I believe this one still does. It just has a couple of different ways of venting, but holds 4.5 gallons. I have less than 2 gallons in here. You can look at the fuel level. See, that's nowhere near full. And it's been running for around 15 minutes. It's not too loud. It's actually quieter than my other generator, which is 3,000 watts. This one's 3250. I have a tape measure lined up here for 20 feet. We'll go ahead, take a sound measurement with my tablet, which is going to be kind of hard because it's currently kind of bright out. and you can't really see the screen, so I'm gonna have to bend down. But we'll go ahead and start it up here, show you where the hour meter is, showing that it still has 0 hours on it. Doesn't read the minutes, just hours, and give you a quick demo of how loud it is. Not very loud at all. So get it started. Turn on the power switch. Fuel valve is actually on this time. Put it in choke, and it's very easy to start. Just a light little pull. I'm gonna put the handle down here so I can get the string out all the way. Let's see, did I turn the switch on? Yes, I did. Alright, since it's warm, maybe it doesn't need choke. And it doesn't. Still 0 hours, 120 volts, 62 hertz. Running a small 48 watt table fan. That's a break-in load. Don't really want to load it up while it's brand new. Take the sound measurement at 21 feet now. Alright, so we're about 20 feet away from it. And you're not going to be able to see that, but it's still reading 82 decibels. We're going to step back even further. Alright, so now we're a good distance away from the generator. And see if I can get it. Looks like it's at about 77, 76 decibels. So not that loud at all. I'll have more sound comparisons later on when I compare it in the review to my other generator. I'm going to go ahead and let it break in. Run it for around 8 hours, change the oil, put full synthetic in it, and then we'll start with the review. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thanks again for watching. Peace.